I'm Karen Gephardt here at HAI Heli Expo 2020 in Anaheim, California. I'm honored to be here with Corey Burke, who is the Salute to Excellence in Helicopter Maintenance Award winner, sponsored by Rolls-Royce. You know, Corey, when I was reading through your bio, I thought this is a man who has had a tremendous amount of diversity in his positions in maintenance, as a maintenance manager, and doing a lot of different types of things in various parts of the world. I'd like to touch on just a couple of these because you've covered a lot of territory. So let's start a little bit with how in the world did you end up on a tuna boat for 8 years in the South Pacific? Not only that, but as the only mechanic and engineer on board.
Well, Karen, it's a simple answer. I grew up in Montana, and it was wintertime, it was snowing, it was cold, and I was offered a job with a round-trip ticket to go to the South Pacific where it was warm.
Okay.
And I thought, I was young, let's go see the world, let's see what this is all about.
So what was it like out there?
It was warm. And I guess to answer the question about how I ended up being the only one there, it was a U.S. registered aircraft on a foreign fishing vessel.
Understood.
So that's how
You were the guy.
I was the guy.
So now you're out there enjoying that wonderful warm weather on the South Pacific, and you flip to frozen water. You move up to Alaska as part of a small 4-man logging team.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so that part of that story of my life was coming to an end. It was time to move on and try something different because I've been there quite a while now. So that's when I hired on with Columbia Helicopters, and it was like a week. I was only in Portland, this company, for a week, and they shipped me up to Alaska to go on a logging aircraft, and it was about the opposite. You could go from one to the other. Cold, nasty environment, but it was the same kind of a challenge again. Supply chain parts. If you didn't have it, you don't have it. I mean, it seems to be repeating in my life in this career is some remote area and trying to manage to operate with nothing.
Right.
And I guess I've figured out ways to do that.
I think there's probably a lot of lessons to be learned from how you did that. I saw another interesting transition where if those weren't extreme enough differences, you worked in country in Afghanistan during Operation Enduring Freedom. We've got a lot of folks, we keep talking about HAI and putting the international in the eye and making it real, and you've certainly experienced a lot of movement around different parts of the world. Is there anything that comes to mind to help folks understand what does it take to transition from one country to another, one type of industry to another, going from the South Pacific to Alaska to Afghanistan? What thoughts come to mind in terms of how others might make those kinds of changes in their career?
Well, it all starts with a detailed plan. You have to plan accordingly, and you're never going to have all the answers, or you're never going to figure it all out. But you need to remain flexible. Your situational awareness. I mean, you can't predict what's going to happen,
Sure.
but you have to plan.
Sure. So where is it going to take you next? Do you have a vision of your next challenge? You're certainly not done.
No. That's a good question. I truly enjoy the work I do, and it seems pretty much my whole aviation career, which I'm going to have to blame on my grandfather, who was a World War II pilot.
Okay.
That's kind of what led me down this somewhere in the back of my mind. But I've always worked in these remote areas, and for some reason I've actually excelled in that remote area.
Right.
But I would imagine at some point in time I'm going to have to go to like an office somewhere normal and look back on all of this traveling.
Oh my gosh, I have a feeling that's not going to be for a while based on your spirit of adventure. Well, we really appreciate, Corey, you're taking a little time to chat with us today. I think you've got an amazing story to tell, and I think what's really important for all of us is recognizing the value that our maintenance engineers and our maintenance technicians and maintenance management and everybody that works on the maintenance side of the house are critical to the success of every operation, of every flight, every mission, every helicopter. And we thank you for your tremendous service. We look forward to seeing where you're going to land next. And we wish you the very best. And again, congratulations on your award.
Thank you, Karen. I really appreciate that.